Good afternoon. Anybody here? Good afternoon. All right, my name is Gary. I've been your DJ. The music is provided for your listening pleasure, so I hope you enjoyed that. So now we're going to go ahead and get the party started, all right? All right. So let's try this again. You know what? Let me do it this way. Good afternoon. On behalf of Valley Metro and the Conference of Minority Transportation Officials, Compton, Arizona chapter, we welcome you to the second annual Reimagining Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Networking Forum. So I hope you guys had a chance to network for the first hour, and there may be some additional time after we finish the speaking engagement. So we are excited to have you here to receive this great support from the agency partners, the prime construction, professional, and construction services contractors, who you will be hearing from shortly. So, again, my name is Gary Flanoy. I'm the Business Outreach Coordinator, Administrator for Valley Metro. So I've been your contact if you needed to, connect with Valley Metro or invite you to activities like this. So just keep that in mind. So we want to go ahead and move this program forward. So I want to make a couple introductions, and then we'll have the speakers in rotation, and as they're presented on the program, that's how we'll have them speak, and we'll have Danielle assist with bringing the speakers to the green room at this table over here. All right, so I want to begin this portion of the DBE Forum with Ms. Jessica Medford-Miller, Valley Metro CEO. I am excited to hear her strategy and her vision to take Valley Metro forward into the next level, especially in the diversity, equity, and inclusion space. So please join me in welcoming Ms. Jessica Medford-Miller.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me okay? Okay. All right, I brought my talking loud in a bus garage voice, so we'll make this work. Thank you for taking the time out to spend the afternoon with us at our now second annual Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Forum. Before I speak, I have a few remarks for you, and so do a number of our colleagues, but I do want to be clear, this is your time. The express purpose of this forum this afternoon is to connect potential partners together. We're here until 4 o'clock. I'm not going to talk until 4 o'clock. I'll easily be done by 3:30. So that gives you a little bit of time to make sure you do the rounds around the room. If you are a small business, make sure you connect with each of the primes that are here today and connect with each other. That's what we're here to do. That's what we're about. I want to tell you a little bit about what we have going on at Valley Metro. My colleagues are going to talk to you a bit about specific projects and programs, but let's talk a little bit about what diversity, equity, and inclusion means, particularly in our procurement program. At Valley Metro, we have begun a journey on our diversity, equity, and inclusion path. So for us, that means we're evaluating a number of our policies and programs, including our hiring and onboard practices, because we know that we need to build a team that better reflects the communities that we serve, and we need to build talent within our organization so that we can promote that team up from the front lines all the way to executive leadership. We're working to strengthen our outreach and community engagement strategies so that we can deepen our relationships with the people that we serve, because we are here to plan, design, construct, operate, and maintain mobility services for the benefit of the greater Maricopa County community. We're also working to improve our utilization of historically underutilized businesses and enterprises across the valley. So that means we are focused on increasing diversity in our vendors and our contracting. And when you're funded by taxpayer dollars, as we are, I think it's essential that we're very deliberate about whom we're doing business with and how we're reinvesting in the community and ensuring that we are creating equitable opportunities to the economic opportunities that come along with building, operating, and maintaining a large urban transit system. We also now look at our DBE goals as the floor. It's not the ceiling. I think historically a lot of organizations interpret that DBE goal as a limit that we need to attain. That's a minimum. And then the ceiling is much higher than that. Outside of procurement, equity has also become a strong emphasis within Valley Metro. Next spring, we're going to be kicking off a strategic plan, and with that, we're going to be seeking input from a diverse array of stakeholders. That's our riders, our partners, but also the businesses that we work with, or businesses in the community that perhaps we don't work with yet, to help inform our policies and business practices moving forward. Within our organization, we're also building a more diverse and inclusive culture and team. Some of the things that we're going to be working on will include equitable transit-oriented development, which we'll accomplish alongside our member cities, especially our rail cities like City of Phoenix, City of Mesa, and City of Tempe. We're working on workforce development initiatives. Most of the firms in the room probably are experiencing some pain points with respect to recruitment and workforce development. We have to view this as an opportunity to do things differently. And when you work in a unique industry like transit and the many supportive services that serve transit, we've got to be deliberate about our recruitment and training. We've got to provide those opportunities within our organization. Events like these, I think, are really valuable to connecting contractors. We'll do this again next year, but it's important that we all maintain those touch points and connections throughout the course of the year. And Henry Ukwitikwa and Ken Kessler are going to give you a little bit of an idea of some of those procurements coming out from Valley Metro, and you'll hear from our partners, including ADOT and cities from across the valley here in just a moment. So thank you for taking this time to invest. If you have questions, the Valley Metro team is along this line, and I wanted to introduce you to a few of our team members. First, I want to thank Gary Flanoy, whom you just heard from. Gary is our small business outreach coordinator and has done a great deal to make this event happen, but this is one of Gary's highest purposes. He is passionate about engaging small, minority, and historically underutilized businesses. He can be a great resource to you. If you don't know him, make sure you know him before you leave today. Ken Kessler is our Chief Financial Officer. Ken joined us just last week. That he is no stranger to transportation and finance across the valley. He previously spent his career with the City of Phoenix. Henry Ukwitikwa is our Director of Capital Programs. You'll hear from Ken and Henry shortly. Susana Hernandez at the end of the table is our Acting Chief Procurement Officer. Talk with Susana and her team. Make sure she has your contact information and vice versa. So thank you all to the Valley Metro team for your support of this event. I appreciate you. And now I want to introduce you to Chief Financial Officer Ken Kessler.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. As Jessica mentioned, I'm Ken Kessler, brand new CFO here with Valley Metro. Started last Monday with the organization. Very excited for this next chapter. As she mentioned, I spent a long career at the City of Phoenix working in public transit over there, so I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of the Valley Metro staff, a lot of our regional stakeholders and partners in the public sector as well as the private sector. A lot of familiar faces in the room here today, so it's nice to kind of reconnect and talk to some folks I haven't talked to in a while. We have, as she mentioned, we have procurement staff over here as well as the staff that were at the registration desk. They're here to help support. We are very dedicated to moving forward and increasing, enhancing the diversity in the contractors in which we work with, and so I'm hopeful that you guys take advantage today and make those great connections with other businesses you could partner with as we work towards delivering transit in the valley here. I'm very excited for this opportunity to get this forum together. Gary, really appreciate all the efforts that he put into putting this together. I hope all of you find this very helpful and useful as you move forward in your businesses. And we really look forward to working with the small and disadvantaged businesses to improve the local community and keep those dollars that, as Jessica mentioned, these public dollars that we spend on these projects and services, keep them here in the local economy to help spur even further economic development for our region. So with that, I'll turn it over to Henry Ukwa, our Director of Planning and Capital Development.
Good afternoon. All right. I need some energy. Last time I was here, last year, I actually put a challenge to everybody who was here. I asked everybody to leave, before they leave, to make sure they hand out 50 of their business cards to partners. This is all about you. This is for you to build relationships. Moving forward in business is relationships. If you don't have that, you cannot be successful. We're putting this together for people who work with Valley Metro to get to know each other, our primes, to get to know the small businesses that work with us, that are part of our communities. What we do is public service. And public service demands that we engage our communities. And the closest way to engage our communities is through our small businesses. So this exercise, I will maintain that challenge. Before you leave here, make sure you hand out 50 of your business cards to partners here. And please maintain those relationships, because that is the only way you can grow. Okay? Now, I'm going to start by making a presentation, just a little presentation for you to see what Valley Metro does, especially on the capital program side. That's me. Okay. You all know what our system looks like. I'm not going to dwell on this because I believe all of you know what the system looks like. Last year when I was here, we were still building the Tempe streetcar. And the three projects then was Tempe streetcar, Northwest extension at the end there, and South Central extension at the bottom. Those projects have gone, they are now at advanced stages of completion. I believe both South Central and Northwest have gone past the 50% completion stage. So if you go there now, you will see light rail tracks along some of the alignment. But I believe for this group, what you really want to know is what's coming up next. Okay? So that's what's coming up next. And I will go, step by step. We're looking to, our next project really is the capital extension, which will go from Central Phoenix, that is the green line, from Central Phoenix, going 1.5 miles to the state government campus. So that project will be coming up shortly for bid, and I will tell you more about that with the procurement that will be upcoming. Then if you go to the right, in something like dark red, that will be the streetcar extension from Tempe into Mesa. We call it the Rio Dobson line. So it will go on Rio Salado to Dobson Road and then go south to connect to the light rail. Also at the end of, if you go back to the capital extension, you see it in gray line, dotted line, that is the 10 West. So again, we will be we'll be issuing some task orders for that project. Then the gray area that you see that goes from about Camelback all the way to Indian School, that will be the West Phoenix study area. That is more like a feasibility alternatives analysis study that we will be undertaking. So those are the upcoming projects on the capital program side. But I want to also share with you what procurement are coming up. So when I was here last year, we are talking about procuring the planning support services contract and what that means for this group. I'm glad to say that contract was awarded to different firms. Some of you are here. But out of that contract, we will be assigning task orders to do some of the jobs that I just described here. The Rio East Dobson Streetcar Extension will be an alternatives analysis project, and we look to advertise that in spring of 2023. So those firms that are part of the planning support services contract will have the opportunity to pursue this job, and as they do so, they will need DBE and small firms to support them. So going down, you will have the 10 West extension. That has already gone through the planning stages. So we'll be doing preliminary engineering, doing environmental assessment, and subsurface utility engineering work. Again, we will issue an advertisement for that task order in spring of 2023 under the planning support services contract. Now, the capital extension is a design and construction project. So that has gone through the planning stages. Now we're actually getting into the real engineering and design. So we will issue an ROFP for a design engineer, final design. Right now it's undergoing preliminary engineering. We're getting close to 30% design. So once we get there, we will be moving now into final design. So we will be issuing that ROFP in spring of 2023. It looks like spring 2023 is pretty popular on this. Okay. And then, of course, immediately after that, we'll be looking to bring on a CMA contractor who will do the construction. Now, City of Phoenix has agreed with us. We will pursue this through CMA. So we'll bring in one on board again in spring of 2023. Now, our capital program does not just end with the capital projects. We have other important contracts that support this program. And of course, the first one that you will notice there is the job order contract, which deals with smaller things that we do under $2 million, you know, but it's a very important part of what we do. So the job order contract will be advertised in spring of 2023 again. So those of you who will be interested in that, it will be coming up. The General Consulting Support Services contract, that is an on-call design professional services, cost estimating that we do, and project management. Again, that will be advertised in fall of 2023. Program management, construction management services, we call it PMCM, that will be advertised in spring of 2024. And then, of course, the systems design services contract, that still has a few more years to go, but that we're looking to advertise that in winter of 2027. So these are the support contracts that we have to support our capital program. Now, as I stand here, I'm also a member of COMTO, the Conference of Minority Transportation Officials. That is what COMTO stands for. I have since transferred my membership, of course, from Atlanta to Phoenix. And as a member of this group, our goal is to help promote diversity, equity, and inclusion. And Gary Flournoy, who serves as the president of the chapter in Phoenix, has asked me to read some of the issues, some of the visions that we have. And I'm going to read this as written out here. The Conference of Minority Transportation Officials, COMTO, is the leading national advocate for employment diversity, inclusion, and contracting opportunities in the multimodal, multi-billion-dollar transportation industry. Our mission is to eliminate barriers to maximum participation for minority individuals, veterans, people with disabilities, and certified MWDBE businesses through leadership training, professional development, scholarship, and internship funding, political advocacy, partnership building, and network opportunities. So again, this is one of those activities where we're pursuing these goals. What we believe that diversity moves the nation. If you don't have a diverse team, you're cheating yourself because you're not accessing the full potential of what you can be. We believe that the leadership of a massive industry that has the responsibility of transporting all people all the time should reflect the complex mosaic of those they serve. We believe that commitment to inclusion across race, gender, age, religion, identity, and experience moves us forward every day. Our vision is to ensure full access for minorities in transportation while preparing and positioning leaders for rapidly evolving global opportunities. Our mission is to ensure opportunities and maximum participation in the transportation industry for minority individuals, veterans, people with disabilities, and certified MWDBE businesses through leadership training, professional development, scholarship, internship funding, political advocacy, partnership building, and networking opportunities. So we also look out for partnership with other organizations. So in most of what COMTO does, we work with other other organizations like WTS to make sure that we promote these values. And with that, I will hand over to Mr. Gary Flournoy to continue this program. Thank you for having me.
Great. Let's just thank our Valley Metro leadership once again, Ms. Jessica Metro Miller, our CEO, Ken Kessler, and Henry Yukwa for their leadership. So thank you guys for being a part of this. So, and also thank you for sharing the COMTO mission, vision, and belief. I think that's very important, and it aligns pretty much with Valley Metro's perspective of working with diverse communities. So now we want to continue the program, and I'd like to introduce our agency partners. We want to start off with the City of Phoenix Equal Opportunity Department, Mr. Donald Mays, the Deputy Director, and then we'll be followed by the City Engineer, Mr. Eric Froberg. So please come on up and introduce yourself.
Somebody was pity packing. Don't pity pack me. I work hard for you. I really do. I'm an advocate. For 36 years, I've advocated for small disadvantaged businesses. Thank you, Gary. And this is my 5th agency serving here at the City of Phoenix. So I believe that the reason why I'm here today is not just to give you a lot of statistical data on our DBE attainment or SBE attainment or ACDB attainment. Those things are important, but you came from information like what Henry gave. That was good information. I want to know what contracts are coming up. You want to know what contracts are coming up. As Gary said, my name is Donald Mays, Donald Nathaniel Mays Jr., and I am the Deputy Director of the Equal Opportunity Department for the City of Phoenix. I'm better known as Mr. Happy. And the reason why I'm Mr. Happy, because I had the opportunity to serve with people like yourself that serve the community in various areas of your expertise. Allow me to introduce other members from the City of Phoenix, and when I call your name, please stand up. We have, of course, Eric Froberg, who you'll hear from later, our city engineer. We have Sarah Morato. She's with our aviation department. That's right. Give it up for her. Yes. We have Christina Hernandez. We have one of our newest members. We have Valeria Williams to the small business programs. And of course, many of you know that we stole Kelly Adams from ADOT, and she's now with the city of Phoenix. Now, I only have 3 minutes remaining, and I want us to do a small exercise as part of my presentation. I want to get you started on acquiring those 50 business cards. So what I would like for you to do is take out a business card or your e-card. Take out your business card or your e-card. I want you to exchange it with someone else. Just exchange it. Come on, I got 2 more minutes remaining. Exchange it with someone else. Thank you. Exchange that business card with someone else. So now you only have 49 cards to acquire. Now, what I would like for you to do is before you leave here today, I want you to visit one of the City of Phoenix table. If you can get a hold of me, talk to me. I want you to tell me about that business whose business card you're holding. Tell me about that business. It doesn't have to be a lot. Why am I asking you to do that? Because I've learned after 35 years of serving small businesses, I'm on my 5th agency, that networking is very, very important. I can give you a whole day of testimonials of firms that I've watched grow as a result of networking. And 4 of the things I learned what they did, those firms that grew, the first thing they did, they promoted someone else's business. They were not selfish. They promoted someone else's business. The second thing they did, they participated in events like this. This is very important. Thank you, Gary. Keep it going. Very important. The third thing they did, they looked for opportunities to give, and give some more. The business that I've encountered, I've worked with mom and pop shops who graduated from my DB program. They exceeded the size standards. Their personal net worth and the gross receipts of the firm. They outgrew the program. Why? Because they learned how to do these things. And the last thing I've learned with small disadvantaged businesses, and I'm still struggling with that word, disadvantage, after 35 years, is they value their employees. They value their employees. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you for listening.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me here today. It's a pleasure to work with, and I would encourage you all to hit up the tables back there. Great City of Phoenix people back there. As Donald and Gary said, I'm Eric Froberg. I'm the city engineer for the City of Phoenix. When I talked to Gary, or when Gary asked, like, hey, we're going to do this second annual. We know you were at the first one. We're going to have you back out there. I said, okay, what day? And he told me what day, and I was like, well, and I said, all right, I'll make time for it, right? Because this is important to me, and it's important to me for a variety of reasons. One is that prior to coming to the city, I was a small business, right? So I've been at the city for almost 4 years now. Prior to that, I was a design consultant, civil engineer design consultant. Had started with somebody else's business at the beginning, and then kind of grew into pseudo having my own business. It was a good opportunity for me in New Mexico, but then I came back. Arizona's always been home. So SBEs has always been very important to me, right? I sit with the City of Phoenix. We have a small business enterprise committee, and I'm one of 2 of the standing members of that. You can go back and Donald can give you all the nitty-gritty about how to get into the program and how what you need to get into the City of Phoenix program. But I would encourage you to all get into the program. Our city, our CIP is just about $10 billion over 5 years. I asked Donald on the way up, okay, what's our attainment in general, right? Like, what is it? And he goes, well, about 10%. I said, that's perfect because it makes simple math for me, right? $10 billion at 10%. There's $1 billion over the next 5 years of dollars available to SBEs on the kind of design, but mostly on the construction side. We're working on finding a component for a design component, but it's largely on the construction side. So all back to that, then I asked Gary, okay, so what do you want me to talk about? And I go, I think you really need Donald here. And he goes, yeah, Donald will be there, and he'll talk about, EOD and that. I said, all right, so what you want is the list of projects. And he goes, yes, that's basically what they want. And I remember when I was a consultant, they would show up and it would come up and all the cameras would come out. People start taking pictures of, okay, so I made it a little bit easier for you. I've provided it. Now, I was late, I will say. I was a little bit late in getting it to Gary, so I provided it to him today, so he'll be able to, if you've signed up and he has connections where he can send it out to whoever wants it, whether they attended here today or not. Just a small kind of sampling of what's coming up on the design and construction side, whether it's water or wastewater or street transportation, aviation parks, lots of opportunities within the city. The last thing that I want to talk about a little bit, two things, is also on this flyer there are 2 links. There's a link to the procurement, so the design and construction procurement group report directly to me. There's a link on here to get signed up for the newsletter. That newsletter goes out every week, and it tells you about what's coming up, specifically for the city of Phoenix. And then there's also a link in here about the GEO bond, which if $10 billion wasn't enough, mayor and council decided, hey, let's go out for another $500 million worth of projects over the next 5 years. So there's a link on there. It goes, I believe if I have my dates right, it goes to council, it goes to policy, I think, tomorrow to be considered by the mayor and council. So lots of good projects in there to be built over the next 5 years. So I do want to encourage everybody to get signed up. There are lots of opportunities within the city of Phoenix. Again, if it wasn't important to me just personally, being a ex-SBE, mayor and council has also stressed that it will be very important to me as the city engineer, right, to make sure that SBEs are provided opportunities on city contracts. So the way it generally works is after you get signed up with Donald and his group, when a project comes up, it comes to me, I look at the type of project, I look at what our past history was on those types of projects, and we set a goal. And you'll hear from several primes. I saw the list, very good group of primes to be talking here later. I have meetings with them before the projects get kicked off, and we talk about what that goal should be. And they hear that, Donald's heard it a dozen times, right? Every time we go in, I say, look, I want the goal to be, I don't want it to be easily achievable, right? I don't want them to be able to meet their SBE goal in the first month, but I don't want it to be so onerous that it becomes an SBE paperwork kind of thing for them, right? So I try to find that balance where they've got to stretch a little bit. They have to try to work a little bit to expand. And the best part, and I'm glad Donald brought it up, the best part is when we hear about the SBEs that have graduated out of our program, because then that means that what the people sitting back there at the tables and the city engineer's office have done has worked, because they started as a small business and now they've graduated into bigger and better things. So with that, I have a handful of cards there at the back. I'm one short now because of Donald's exercise, but there are some back there. I'll stick around for a few minutes, but grab my card. Gary has my information. Be happy to talk with any of you guys. So enjoy the rest of the program.
Putting together these events is not always easy, but it becomes a lot easier when you have great partners. So, I want to thank the city of Phoenix for being a good partner and taking my call when I call them. So I appreciate that. So now we want to continue on with the program. I would like to bring up another agency partner. They're fresh off the ADOT DBE and Small Business Conference they had last week. So with that, I want to bring up Dr. Janice Hodge, DBE Support Services Program Manager, with Diane Lester, DBE certification specialist. Come on up.
Good afternoon, everyone. A little bit more excitement. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm not going to be as happy as Mr. Happy, but I'm going to try to make you smile. I might just be hyped up on that sugar on that snack table, so we're going to bring it around. But I am Dr. Janice Hodge. I am the DBE Supportive Services Program Manager, and with me is Diane Neidig. She's the DBE Certification Specialist. I want to grab her up here with me. Come on, get some of this excitement, Diane.
Greetings, everyone.
And I'll try not to advance these slides too fast. Now, I'm going to make you work for it. BCO, DBE Supportive Services and Certification Team, this is our information. Take out your devices. Some of you already have them out. I'll give you a few minutes. That way, if there are any questions or concerns or anything you want to talk about, you can definitely reach out to us. I'll give you a couple of seconds, make you work for it. I won't make you get up. You can just, looks like everyone is good, okay. DBE certification. I'll let Diane take this over, and then she'll turn it over back to me.
Thank you, Janice. And I'm not truly a woman with two names. I actually am Diane Neidig, as the previous slide showed, but I will answer to anybody who just calls me Diane. I am the DBE Certification Specialist, currently with ADOT. And the purpose of the program is very simple. It's to ensure that a level playing field exists in government contract for women and minority-owned firms. Jessica, in her remarks, mentioned goals and DB projects. That's where the DBEs come in. This is public money, so in order to ensure that everyone gets to share equally in the benefits of a public project going on, the large prime contractors happily and are required to engage small businesses to chunk off some of the projects so that locally owned small businesses, women and minority-owned firms can participate. In order to do that, you need to be certified to do business with the government. I should say it's not mandatory that you're certified. The government can certainly hire non-certified firms, but the primes are required to share their business with, that's their goal, to share the business with minority and women-owned businesses. That's where the advantage of certification is to you. I'm now going to turn it back to Janice, because what Janice does is sort of the next step. Once you're a certified firm, or if you sign up as an SBC, which is a small business concern, which I think Janice will touch on a bit, you are now in the system. You will show up for primes who are looking for small businesses to work with, and she's going to give you a little bit of information about what supportive services we offer to you after you're certified. So thank you.
Thank you, Diane. Great job. So what we do, supportive services, DBE supportive services, we do that, we give just that, support and services. I won't bore you and read it to you, but I'll cover a few that you see. Conferences, you've heard it mentioned. There was a conference just last week, ADOT, DBE and small business conferences. Those conferences give you the opportunity to create sub-partnerships, network, give you opportunities to become well-rounded and well-grounded in your prospective heavy highway construction, if I can get out, industry. So basically what we want to do is support you in what you do. Transportation expos, we give snapshot and communications letters, newsletters. These are bi-weekly. There will be another slide at the end that will reiterate the DBE Supportive Services mailbox. It's DBE Supportive Services at az.gov or dot.gov. The Business Development Program, you might have heard that mentioned. This is where firms can apply, and if they're accepted, they can get into various programs that will help them level up in their industry as well as in their business and learn how to actually do business better. Sometimes we don't know what we don't know until we get into these projects and programs, and we can improve our business practices, or you can improve your business practices. Small Business Resource Center, that's where you gain that one-on-one special assistance, and you can work through any challenges or break any barriers that you might come across. Then we have the networking events. Here we are at one today. Also, we have the solicitations. We have task force meetings that happen quarterly. These task force meetings serve as a joint venture. So we have ADOT staff, we have primes, contractors, DBEs. You can learn from each other, network to complete, to actually develop your skills, not complete, but actually develop your skills so that once you're completing these federal projects, you can go have that aha moment and say, this is what I needed to do to change. This is what I needed to do to make it a little different, to change or reimagining your own thinking, if it were. So also, we want to get into a little bit of our expansion of our communications. Communications and networking, we can't say enough about that. As far as training and educating you, coaching you, counseling you, giving you the knowledge to create opportunities where they may not have been, giving you the strength to make those connections. It's not easy speaking in front of people, as some of us see right now, right? And it's not easy walking up to someone and say, hi, I'm a small business, you know.
That actually was pretty good.
Yeah, because you're already near me, but you know, you have to actually create opportunities for yourself. So that's what we do here with DBE Supportive Services. We want to give you that opportunity that you can, again, reach out and make those sub-partnerships that are so available to you. In the back, you can see we have a table, ADOT, BCO back there. Come back and get some of our wonderful swag when you get a chance. Also, come back and get another smile and give us some information you might want to talk about, questions, things that you didn't know that I mentioned. Feel free to come see us. And I have another exercise for you. You didn't put those devices away, did you? Okay. Break them out, and we want to make sure that you have the information you need going forward. You might have forgotten some of the things that I just mentioned. You might need to see if you are in AZU tracks. At the bottom, I guess it's your bottom right-hand corner, current advertisements, definitely important. You want to put that on your phone, as well as Business Coach on Demand. You want to receive DBE Supportive Services Communications. Again, please definitely top right. You'll stay in the know. You want to stay informed. Even if you're so busy trying to be better, you still want to know how and communicate with each other so you can do a better job. What do you think? Okay, we good with that? We good with that? Okay, good. So how do we stay connected? This form, another QR code. I'm not going to wear you out with your QR codes, but you keep your phone with you
Let's
all
just
the time,
interject.
right?
We have
So-
mouse pads with the QR codes
Yes.
for those of you
Yes.
who, like me, are poor photographers. So.
But if you lose that
Step on
mouse
it
pad, right? If you lose that mouse pad, you won't lose your phone. So get that QR code, stay connected with BCO Connects. We want you to make sure you fill out that form, get involved, get engaged, and get the help and supportive services that's available to you, right? That's all you got to do. Get busy, get moving. 2023 is coming. We invite you to get informed of what's coming up with us at ADOT and get involved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks again to our ADOT partners. It's very important that we work together. Our goal is to outreach and make sure that you have every opportunity for contracts and working opportunities. So that's why we collaborate. We recognize we're different organizations, but we don't care who you get the job with. We want you to get the job. So we want to keep the program moving. But again, let's thank Dr. Janice Hodge and Diane Lester for showing up with ADOT. And then we also have Francesca Martin in the back. So thank you for joining us today, Francesca. All right, our next speaker, we're going to get into the primetime speakers. So our next speaker is Scott Jones from Ames Construction. And then we're going to be followed by John Durr and John P. Douglas from Balfour Beatty. If you'd like, make your way up to the front. Here we go, Mr. Scott Jones. Got a call for you, Scott.
All right, perfect. Can everybody hear me all right? All right, well, my name is Scott Jones. I'm the Regional Alternative Delivery Manager for Ames Construction for the Southwest and kind of the gatekeeper. So last year I was at this event and I invited people to come, you know, give me a call, I'll set up a meeting with you, and I only actually had 2 people follow up on it. So I'd encourage you to come in. There's 2 of us at Ames that, well, first I better give a little rundown on Ames. But we're a heavy civil contractor. We're big into transportation, airport work, mining, dams, underground utilities, rail. Pretty much on the rail, it's a Class 1 rail. A lot of work with BNSF and Union Pacific. But we sub out a lot of work, a lot of things like striping, electrical. We have opportunities. We talked to some gentlemen with saw cutting. There was a person I spoke with earlier regarding like cleaning job site trailers, that type of stuff. So there's plenty of opportunity. And if the best way to learn what's going on is to send me an email, and then I have a counterpart who's our chief estimator for Arizona. And what I like to do is set up a meeting so you could come in and meet with the two of us, just I guess our group and your group in our office. And then we can kind of talk about what you do and let you know what the opportunities are. And then we'll get you through the process with the pre-qualification and all that. Melissa can help with that. But my email's up there at the top. Scott Epping's our chief estimator. He's a real busy guy, so it works best if you reach out to me, and then I'll just coordinate from there. Not that I'm not busy either, but I'll make sure it happens. But again, last time we did this, I had 2 people reach out. So if you're out there, get in front of us. We'd rather be hands-on, because otherwise you'll just get lost in the shuffle. But if you get to know the 2 people that are making the decisions on who we're going to work with and everything, that's where you want to be. So I think that's it. Oh, upcoming work right now, we don't have a lot going on in the DOT realm. We're busy with the mines and the rail work right now. And then we have a progressive design build for the city of Flagstaff. And I just wanted to say that those jobs, they don't require DBE or SBE or anything. But just because it doesn't require it doesn't mean that we wouldn't love to have you working with us. And your opportunity to get in with Ames doesn't necessarily have to be a job that has a goal to meet or something. It could be any one of those other private clients that we work with. Okay?
Thank you, Scott.
Hi, I'm John Durr with Gannett Fleming. Thank you for the opportunity to present today here at the second annual Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Program. So start off talking a little bit about who we are. So I'm actually standing in, I think, for Maria today. So Maria, as you see, it says time. So she used to be Maria Hyatt 3 weeks ago, and she got married secretly over the weekend. So I think everybody probably knows Maria. So Maria's a vice president in our Transit and Rail group, and then I'm executive vice president, regional director for Gannett Fleming. And then Bill Peterson. Bill's sitting back there. Bill, raise your hand. So Bill sits down at the airport most of the time working on those projects. So Gannett Fleming is a national transportation firm. We have about 28, this is an old slide, 2,800 professionals. Our labor revenues, it's about $650 million, and we do about $1 billion of gross revenue a year. On ENR, we are ranked number 8 for transit projects and 15 for highway projects. In the West, we've got about 65 offices in the United States and in Canada. But here in the West, we've got 13 offices, you can see. While we're focused here on Arizona, I just wanted to make it aware. We do a lot of transportation work in California for those that are doing work over there as well. We've got 7 offices in Northern and Southern California. So our business focus, while we do $1 billion of gross revenue every year, you can see we give a lot away, and then our labor revenue is $650. So our transportation focus, we're about 65% transportation work on aviation, bridges and tunnels, ports, roadways, and transit and rail. But we also do a lot of work in buildings and facilities, earth science, construction services, and power and energy, and we're always looking for a lot of great partners to work with us. So we've had a commitment and programs, internal programs to DEI for many, many years. And this is just a statement from our current CEO on the commitment to equity, diversity, and inclusion. So, but our commitment to the community and business outreach, wellness, inclusion, social justice, environmental responsibilities has been demonstrated throughout our history of our company. We continuously work with new vigor to have our ESGs, environmental, social, and governance practices tied to strategic goals to produce measurable results. So this is something that we track. This gives you an indication of the number of existing ESGs that we have within our organizations. We have a connected women group that's been in existence for many, many years, LGBTQ+ group, military veterans, and FUGEN, Future Generations Group. So these have been in place for many years. And these are some of the professional organizations that we partner with and sit on a number of committees to help advance them. And this isn't all of them, but this is just some of them. This is a recent commitment to a program. I think we have regular programs on before the RFPs come out for This is Washington Metro in DC. So just wanted to show you a couple of different proofs. And then locally here, recently, Gannett Fleming's commitment. We were the prime consultant champion for 2020 for ADOT for the SBE DBE commitment. And then also Arizona $1 Million Circle of Excellence, partnering with minority and women-owned businesses as well. So upcoming opportunities, we regularly work with Valley Metro. A number of projects have been mentioned today. We worked on the 50th Street project. We recently worked on the maintenance facility design build with Hensel Phelps, and on the South Central project that's ongoing right now. And then routinely work with the city of Phoenix as well. So if folks are interested in working with us more, please take a picture of this, or you can go back to our table back there and pick up some cards. But you can routinely reach out to Maria, Bill, or myself to get to know us better. And again, thank you for the opportunity to present.
Can you all hear me okay? Okay, great. We're very happy to be here. We want to thank everybody for putting on this event, especially MetroLink, the city, ADOT, and comp to all the different partners. It's really, really great for us to be here. Balfour Beatty is a really large company. And for, some of you know the company, some of you don't. We're an international company. We have started in 1909 out of London, England. We're traded on the stock exchange in England. It's a very large, as I said, we do about $19 billion a year backlog right now. Worldwide, we have 26,000 employees, but that's the world. So let's the U.S. a little bit. We have three distinct groups within the U.S. that we do, and we really do about half the volume of the work in the country for internationally for what we do. So we have the construction, we have the buildings and civil group, and they also have an investment group which deals in debt financing, and they're really our partners for when we're involved in large P3 projects and go through the financing. So we do about $5 billion a year in revenue in the U.S. and about 4,500 employees. So one of the things we talk about, we're here for DE&I. What is it and why is it important? And a lot of the companies will put this big banner on their internet and say, this is what we do, this is what we believe in, but it's just a banner. To us, it's very important. The thing that makes us a valuable company or any company is our people. And our people are better when we work together with all of our stakeholders. So it's not only our employees, it's our subcontractors, it's our suppliers, our owners, our designers, everybody working together. And when we have diversity, we're better when we put all those people together and all the different views and the cultures and the beliefs, makes us all better at what we do. So it is the culture of our company, and it has been for a very long time before it was really something that everybody wanted to profess. Really just the U.S. You can see it's it used to be called the Southern Smile, is where most of our offices are located, but we also go up the coast quite a bit, do a lot of work. We do a fair amount of work in Arizona. I asked Jennifer Rhodes to come up here with us. She's a project executive with our local office in Scottsdale. Give you a little more flavor of what we do here locally and really our culture, and we'll go through and show you a couple of the projects that we do.
Good afternoon, everyone. I personally take diversity and inclusion very important. I started in construction 20 years ago as just a job site secretary, and I was given the opportunity and was afforded many opportunities to now become executive leadership for the Arizona location. We support many organizations. I'm part of NAWIC, National Association of Women in Construction, Women in Transportation Services. But internally, we've gone a step further to bring DE&I in, and we have 5 internal groups: Building Pride, Connecting Women, Noble, which is our network of Black leaders and executives, our Regal group, which is reinforcing, educating, and guiding Asian leaders, and Somos, which is an affinity group representing our Hispanic Latin teams. So we've both internally and externally created opportunity for networking within the company and with our communities. Here locally, I'm particularly proud of supporting an orphanage with 17 children with all different nationalities. Those children didn't have a voice and come from many different backgrounds, but we're supporting them, and as they're becoming teenagers and whatnot, we're getting them in the construction fields and showing them the opportunity that's afforded to them. Thank you.
Just an example of some of the things that we do. Obviously, we work everywhere, all major metropolitan areas. We're looking to do a lot more work in Arizona. It's where I went to school and lived here for a long time. Go ASU. So, it's just, we've worked for all different places. This is a project up in the Pacific Northwest, a university project. This is a very large, almost a 2 million square foot hospital that we've built. Historic building in San Francisco, doing the TIs for a new owner there. Some really cool projects. This is a multifamily project back in Washington, D.C. We have a large presence in D.C. and do both federal and private contracting back there. A lot of hospitality, Ritz-Carlton. Local project, what do we do?
Mountain Shadow Resort is a very large resort over in Paradise Valley. We set our small business and disadvantaged minority goal at 25%. We exceeded that and hit 43% for that 2.5-year project.
Yeah. We all have goals. Well, not all jobs have goals. Most jobs have goals. And we're very proud of the fact that we always elevate the goal of what's required, and we've never failed to not achieve that goal. It's very important to us. Rail is a big part of what we do. This happens to be the first and I think the only P3 project in the United States. It's about a $5 billion job where we designed and built the project, and we also own and operate and maintain all the facilities for the project. So it's really neat. If you ever go to Denver, this takes you from downtown Denver to the airport, and we have a 30-year operate and maintain contract with it. It's really neat if you get out there. This is a highway project. We do big highways, infrastructure projects. We're probably number 1 or number 2 light transit and transit contractor in the world. We've done more high-speed rail than any other company in the world. This project is a highway job, and if you look at the big arches, that's a cable-stayed bridge. There's not too many contractors build more than one of these, because they're so difficult to build and so costly, and nobody ever realizes how much they cost. This actually is just, if you look at it, just the pedestrian walkways on both sides of the highway. Had it been for that little structure that goes over the river there, that bridge would have cost about $1.5 billion. Instead, it was a $120,000 pedestrian walkway. So very signature, iconic. Other than that, we invite you to please come back and talk to us. I forgot to tell you, I'm the Director of Estimating for the company, so I travel all over around doing all of our projects and look forward to talking to you. Thank you.
Next, we got WSP.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Barbara Gilliland. I work for WSP. I'm a vice president in our planning group, and I've been with the company now for almost 15 years, traveling around the West, doing transit projects. So a little bit different flair for you on this presentation. We're an architectural and engineering firm. We do a lot of design projects. So a little bit about who we are. As I was thinking about this today, the one thing that came to mind is we are all about the people. We are about the people, the clients that we serve. That's why we're here today with Valley Metro. We're also about the partnerships that we make with all of you. We've partnered with Y2K, who's here in the audience today, CivTech, and many other DBE firms on the projects that we work on. And we also are all about the people within the company. The thing that has made me stay with WSP all these years is about the people and the people that we work with at WSP. And we're all about making sure that they have the opportunities, the education, the ability to do research into new ways of doing business. And it's really a very extraordinary organization to work for, and I'm glad I'm a part of it. We're a locally focused firm. We have our office here in Tempe and in Tucson, but we bring an international perspective from overseas. We're a very large firm with 47,000 employees in over 40 countries. And one of the things that I have enjoyed a lot is being able to tap into some of those expertises nationally in the projects that we work on. We learn from people from every way, shape, or form, and our company allows us the opportunity to be able to do those types of things. We're all about holding ourselves accountable, and this is not only for the projects that we work on, but making sure that we're a safe organization. One of the things that I really respected about our company when COVID hit was they really immediately focused on the staff, what we were doing, and how we were doing it, and making sure that they were creating a safe environment for all of us to work in. We're about quality. We're about being accountable for a sustainable and building our projects in a resilient nature. As this map shows, we have over 200 offices across the United States. We are now nearing about 16,000 employees within the U.S. We focus on a broad range of projects, and as I was here earlier and talking to some of you, I noticed that you also represent a broad range of interests. WSP, we're over here on the left-hand side. We encourage you to come over and talk to us regardless of the type of project that you're working on. I'm here today because I do rail-oriented projects. I do transit projects. I've been doing this my entire career. But we also provide many other services. We provide advisory services. We have a huge sustainability practice as a part of the company, focusing on resilience and climate change. We have been enlarging our earth and environment practice. This covers everything from the NEPA process at the beginning of projects all the way through the compliance as you're working through the implementation of your project. We focus on energy, many different types of energy, in providing a new future for us as a nation. Federal programs, program construction management. There are a few of you here in the audience that I think focus on that. Property and buildings, and this is a large component of our practice here in Tempe. I said transportation and as well as water. We have been in Phoenix and in the Arizona area for over 40 years. Since we were here last year, I am very happy to report that we have been added to the Valley Metro on-call services for planning, which is my particular background. We were also just recently added for the on-call services for communications. So if you're interested in working for Valley Metro, please come and join us over at the table, and we'll let you know what are some of the projects coming up and the things that we're planning to pursue. We have a huge commitment to our DBE partners. As can be shown here, we've won champion awards with ADOT in 2022 and 2019. We've been recognized by Compto several years. And the one thing that I wanted to share with you as a group is our Western president was in town here just this last week. And as we were traveling, he mentioned to me that one of the things that is most important to him is the way that we are partners with our other partners within the community. And so making sure that we're following through on our commitments to you as we move forward as an organization. And with that, please join us over at the WSP table so we can talk with you more.
Thank you, Brian. Next, we have Robert Thompson with Hensel Phelps.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Robert Thompson. I'm a senior estimator with Hensel Phelps. I am not a professional speaker, so please bear with me. But with that said, my role with Hensel Phelps is reaching out and contacting you guys directly. Okay? When we take on a new project, there I am. So when we take on a new project, like most of our competitors and friends around the country and in this room, the estimating team, procurement team reaches out to you, okay? And if we don't know who you are, we haven't met you, it was stated earlier that you could get lost in the systems. Hensel Phelps does not enjoy that. We have very high standards for our small business and diversity subcontractors and trade partners that we deal with, okay? As a company, we are a nationwide company, but we do have a local presence here in Phoenix. And as a company, as a whole, you can see that as far as transportation goes, we're the number 10 contractor according to ENR, and the number 1 contractor according to ENR for aviation. With ground transportation, as a company, we've done over 100 projects, totaling over $4 billion of light rail and other ground transportation. We've done work in Dallas and DC as well. Locally, we just finished up the Valley Metro Operations and Maintenance Center expansion, which our friends from Gannett Fleming mentioned earlier. Aviation, over 300 projects nationwide, okay? Hawaii, San Francisco, Colorado, Dallas, Phoenix, Sky Harbor Train Stage 1, which was completed 6-7 years ago, and most recently, Stage 2. Those are some of our marquee projects here in the Phoenix area. Real quickly, my presentation is rather short. Like I said, I'm not a professional speaker, but I do want to say something. We have a lot of good contractors in this room. We have a lot of good designers, and we have members from Valley Metro and the City of Phoenix. We need you, and you need us. It's a mutual working relationship that we have, okay? I would take the time to walk around the room and get to know all of us, okay? We compete with each other, you compete with each other, but in the end, we're all trying to do and accomplish the same things, okay? And that's to help all of us grow, okay? We're here for you, as well as all of our comrades. Again, my name is Robert Thompson, Senior Estimator with Hensel Phelps. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Next, we have Jennifer Love and Janet Yao with AECOM.
Thank you. We're happy to be here. And I am Jennifer Love. I'm a senior transit planner here in the Phoenix office. I also do cover business development for the Southwest and transit and rail planning manager for Arizona and New Mexico.
Okay, and I'm Janet Yell. I'm a civil transit engineer. I've been with the AECOM for 13 years. I serve as the project manager for the South Central Light Rail, the design side, so design services during construction.
So in our office here in Arizona, we have over 200 people, and we cover transportation, water, environment, and construction. We focus on civil infrastructure, but we kind of cover all aspects of it. You know, I start at the planning side, and then we move through design and construction, and we work with Valley Metro, ADOT, City of Phoenix, strong partners with those agencies and others. And it's nice to see many faces here in the room. We've partnered with several of you over the years on South Central LRT. We're on the Valley Metro Planning Support Services, and it was nice to see in Henry's presentation some of those projects are covered, or AECOM is working on. I'm the project manager on the AA, the West Phoenix AA, that big gray box that was on Henry's presentation. We support City of Phoenix T2050, and we have many DBE partnerships through that contract. MCDOT Planning and Engineering on call, we have many contracts that come through there, and we have DBE partnerships on there. And we have several on-calls through ADOT as well. So we actually won the Golden Circle Award for $1 million a year in Arizona to DBE and SBE subs on South Central Light Rail. So that was really exciting. And then we also have a strong mentor-protege program at AECOM, so we can reach out to DBEs, kind of show the ropes on how ADOT works and Valley Metro works, and kind of how the whole process works. And I think one of the things that's really important to this event, the ADOT event that was last week, it's really good to just find time to chat with you and to talk with you, learn your capabilities, and kind of see how we can fit together and build a project together. And we have consistently had this history throughout Arizona building these DBE and SPE partnerships.
In addition to supporting DBE, we at AECOM, and me personally, we are very passionate about giving back to the communities that we serve in.
It's going twice.
It's going twice? Okay.
So look at that picture quick, I guess.
Okay. So, oh dear.
I don't know.
But yeah, so anyway, so as part of South Central, because we did the design for the final design from the years 2018 to 2019-ish, in the 2 years that we served as the design consultants, we implemented a South Central Light Rail high school internship program. And we had about 15 students participate over the 2 years from 12 schools along the alignment. And so we thought it was important that we give back to the communities, who invest back into the youth of the communities where these projects are going to be built. They actually worked on specific parts of the design of that project, so they actually had a real understanding of this thing that's going to be, tearing up their backyards. So
we can go back really.
Yeah, I
look
wanted
at the
to show you the
really
picture,
quick.
right?
Yeah.
So the picture on the left is back in 2018. She was a high school junior. She participated in our program, and she is now studying civil engineering at ASU. I'm very proud of that because, we helped influence somebody's future. And we actually hired her this year in the summer as a summer intern. So she actually worked with me designing parts of South Central. So I thought that was a great success story. Yeah. Well, come visit us.
We
We're in
have
the corner.
business cards. It won't flip so quickly. We can give you a business card. But yeah, we're excited to meet many of you already. Come by and stop by and talk to us at our booth. Thanks.
Thank you.
Next, we have Southwest Transit Partners. Let's thank AECOM once again.
So I am not Ted. I can be if you want me to be. But I am with Southwest Transit Partners. And I really quick want to give you a little background on who we are before I kind of go into what this all means to you. So this is our brand, STP, Southwest Transit Partners. is a joint venture partnership with Stacy and Whitbeck and Sunt Construction. Although it kind of is a new face, I do want you guys, the new brand and logo, I do want you guys to know that we've been working together for 18 years, almost 2 decades worth of work. We've done $515 million worth of transit projects here in the Valley. And I think the most astonishing part of that is actually we've done $60 million of those contracts has been given to small business enterprises like yourselves. Obviously not in one contract, but many, many contracts. And we're really proud of that. And I think, Jessica, you mentioned it even, that's the floor, and let's find out where that ceiling is and really kind of flip the conversation on that. Let's go higher. A couple things I wanted to talk about. Really, I have on the slide here that it's our commitment, but really it is kind of more of our culture. A couple things here. First would be the social responsibility. To us, to SDP, this is really about prosperity through construction, prosperity for our community, prosperity and equity for the people that live here, and offering, I mean, that could be a lot of different things. So I've got a couple listed. Offering education for our youth. It could be providing support for those in need through our foundations. Both of our organizations have very large foundations that we do a lot of really good giving and community building with. And it could just be generally being a very good and active member in the community. So we take our social responsibility very seriously. Supplier diversity. So both Stacy and Whitbeck and Sunt have dedicated a lot of time to building foundations and relationships built off of respect and trust. A lot of what we do, we've heard it all day today, is a lot of communication, right? We've got to be able to trust each other and work hand in hand in order to help relationships grow and foster a stronger, better, healthier community. Workforce development, kind of our third piece of our culture here. Really, construction careers, we know, provide life-changing and oftentimes generational impacting opportunities. We talked a lot today about recruiting, but we do this on a very serious level where we do recruiting, staff and craft training, and offering really high-quality employment opportunities for people like you in this room. What does this mean to you? Really, this means 2 times opportunity. I know that sounds super silly, but it really is. By reaching out to us, not only are you going to be involved in what opportunity and what projects that STP is going to be looking forward to, but also Stacy, Whitbeck, and Sunt. So we really want you guys to connect with us today and kind of get a bang for your buck here. All right. Sorry, I don't want to miss my notes here. Communicating. So it all kind of comes down to communicating. I'm going to talk about it a couple more times today. I'm so sorry about it. But really, it's a two-way street. It's a two-way level of communication. First of all, we want to be able to provide you adequate and timely information. So that comes, you guys need to know what you're looking at and how you can get involved. It's a two-way communication street. So although we want to do a lot of talking to you, we also need you guys to talk to us and communicate with us. Especially when we talk about something like providing feedback, what went well, what didn't go well, how could we have gotten in touch with you better or faster. Communication when we advertise for bids, and then what we do when we host pre-bid and pre-work meetings. Those things are very critical to how we perform our work, making sure that we are setting everyone up for success, setting you up for success, setting ourselves up for success, and setting the project up for success. Incredibly important. The next part is planning. So although it kind of goes hand in hand with the first slide, we're going to tailor scopes of work to what we know someone can do. We want to take the time to do that in the pre-planning efforts so that we can make sure that we're getting you involved in a way that's comfortable and what makes sense. We've oftentimes done things like negotiated subcontracts. We call them mini primes. So hey, let's take a whole scope of work, let's take it aside and let you try and run that and do it all by yourself, but also know that you have us here as a resource and as some support. Making sure that we have inclusive language in our evaluators for our RFPs and how we're choosing or selecting our team. Developing project-specific mentorship and protege programs. So just really planning and making sure that you guys have a partner in what you're doing, and again, setting you up for success. We do a lot of specific contractor training curriculum if you're looking to learn and grow even more, and we offer quite a few resources to support businesses. Stay in touch. This is the single most effective thing that you can do to connect with us and hopefully become part of that 60 million and growing membership with for our DBE. I think last slide. Excellent. I did want to thank Valley Metro, Comto, City of Phoenix, ADOT, those for doing the presentation today and having commitment for what we're doing here. And thank you to all of the attendees that have made it today. I think it was mentioned also a couple of times, we can't do what we do without you, and we're really happy and grateful that we get to connect with you. So that's all. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Gary, for the introduction. So I have a peculiar thing that when I meet people, and people always comment back to me on this, is I always say my name is Scott Miller. I never say my name's Scott. That's because there's a lot of Scott Millers out there in the world. And I need them to know that they're talking to this Scott Miller. And I don't say that out of, like I'm bragging, but I say because there really are a lot of Scott Millers. I can tell you, if you want to come back to the table and talk about this, I can tell you a lot of funny stories about getting loans I never applied for, about getting actually a free meal one time because they thought I was a Canadian Broadcasting Corporation news anchor. So I got a lot of crazy stories because there are thousands of Scott Millers out there. But I represent HDR Engineering. We're an engineering and architecture firm. As you can see on the display board up there, some of the stats about HDR. We were founded 105 years ago, and we were founded as a single proprietorship in Omaha, Nebraska. And I think what I'm trying to emphasize by that is that I know some of you are single proprietorships or are really small businesses. You can grow, if you want to grow, into something much larger. Something I'm really proud of is that HDR is the 5th largest employee-owned corporation in the country. And that actually does mean a lot to me because the work that I do, that's how I am able to provide for my family every single day. So that our employee ownership is a real employee ownership opportunity, and I think it drives many of our employees that work for HDR. There's some other stats on here. I won't go through there. You can read them for yourself. I don't want to bore you with it. But HDR does a lot of work in the transportation market. I am the Arizona-New Mexico Transit Planning Section Lead, and so my area is kind of a small in terms of just those 2 states. But our corporation does all of these elements that you see on here related just specifically to transportation. My specialty in our group is urban design and planning, as well as environmental science, income and economic finance, and a few other of those elements. But if you're interested in work with HDR and you say, oh, well, Scott, you're in the transit business, we do much more than that. And I can connect you with other people within our firm. And I don't know if Danette from Cybergear is still here. I don't see her. But I want to give a great example of that. So Danette with Cybergear, never met her before today. She gave me her business card and told me what she does. And what she does is she's been in business for 24 years. They provide technology infrastructure, such as handhelds, PDAs, other items, many things, and communications and services within the electronics realm. Well, I don't do that kind of work. Sometimes I touch on projects, do that kind of work. But just last week, someone in my office won a project with the National Park Service to do communications within the Lake Mead National Recreation Area. And that might be something that Cybergear can help with. So I already gave her the name of that project manager so she could make that connection and see if there's something that can be there. So just because your firm might not do transit planning work, still come and see me because we probably have some other work that you can do. As was mentioned, Valley Metro's Planning Community Relations Support Services. HDR has been involved with Valley Metro under various reincarnations of that contract for the past 25 years. My role on this is the Senior Planning Project Manager for the planning side, and unfortunately she's not here today, but Terry Groover is our Community Relations Program Manager. So if there are opportunities that you're interested in terms of either the community relations side of the contract or the planning, preliminary engineering, and environmental, please come and talk to me. I want to end it with just one last note, and it's really Now I'm going to kind of brag about myself. I said I wasn't going to at the beginning, but I'm going to now. So last year, Mr. Ikwa Ukwa and Mr. Mays put that challenge out of 50 business cards. I think I have a dozen now. And I'm one of those kids that, like, when I was a kid at least, if my sister did 10 push-ups, I'm going to do 11. She might do 12, and then I'm going to do 13. But that's how I am. So if I can get 51 business cards today, that would make me happy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Scott. Next, we have Nick Hunter with Kiewit, and Kiewit Nevins with Kiewit Training Joint Venture.
There we go. Okay, well, good afternoon. We're the last two primetime speakers here. So, again, my name is Nick Hunter with Kiewit. I'm a project manager, actually running the Northwest Extension project here for Valley Metro. Kiewit, I think most of you are at least a little familiar with Kiewit, pretty large general contractor in North America. What we're going to focus on, myself and then Keela behind me, we're going to talk about 4 projects here that we have in various stages of either design, pre-construction, or construction here in Arizona. And that will kind of give this group a good flavor of what we do here locally. So before we go into those projects, I'll say the work that we primarily do in Arizona anyway, a lot of rail work, roadway, aviation, water. We support our company's power and solar markets. And the City of Phoenix, Valley Metro, and ADOT are 3 big clients of ours. And the projects that the two of us are going to talk about are representative of those scopes of work and those projects. So first, I'm going to give a brief update here on Taxiway U. This is a project that we were recently awarded at Sky Harbor Airport. It's about a $220 million CMAR project, just in the early design phases right now. Construction's not going to start until late next year. So I'm not going to read through all the scopes here. You guys can do that, but there's lots of opportunities for DBE participation on Taxiway U. Kiewit's had a tremendous partnership with the City of Phoenix and Sky Harbor over the years. I've run some work at the airport back, seems like another lifetime ago for Kiewit. But guys, this is really a sweet spot right now where we have a project we can talk to you about. It's in the early design phases, so it's kind of being shaped right now. Lots of opportunities right now. So we do have a table over there manned by Brandon LaPointe. So if you haven't yet visited our Taxiway U table, I encourage you to do so, and they can provide you information on this upcoming project. Lots of good opportunities coming up. I'm going to touch on real quick our 2 light rail projects. Between Northwest and South Central, we have about $1 billion just between those 2 projects. In Phoenix, this is the project I'm running, Northwest Extension, $254 million. Currently, just over the 50% mark. Will be substantially complete here late next year. We still do have some DBE opportunities available for our project, and as Valley Metro, occasionally they provided some added scope and some design changes, and we're always looking for DBE opportunities for those types of work. So even though the project is about halfway done, we still have opportunities for the community. And then the bigger light rail project in town here, the $800 million South Central project, about 60% complete. You can see at the bottom here the list of some of the DBEs. Some are in this room here that both South Central and my project too have done business with. Okay, we both jobs share several of these DBEs. And again, just even though the project's about 60% done, still some DBE opportunities for the community to participate in. Now I'm going to turn it over to Keela, and she's going to talk about another exciting opportunity for the team.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Keelan Needens. I'm the project engineer on the I-17 Anthem Way project. So this is built by our Kiewit Fan joint venture. So we took Kiewit Infrastructure and Fan Contracting out of Prescott. Came together for this $364 million design, build, operate, maintain contract. We're about 18% complete with design and construction, so just kind of getting our feet wet, getting started. Looking to wrap up construction by November of 2024. But as we're just getting started, with lots of opportunities still, the purpose of this project, we have to improve the congestion along the I-17 corridor. I know a lot of you guys have probably traveled to Flagstaff, and it's fairly congested. I apologize, it's not going to get any better for the next couple of years, but after we're done, it'll be a lot better. So what we're doing, our project's about 24 miles long. We're going from Anthem Way to Sunset Point Rest Area. The southernmost 16 miles is adding a general purpose lane to both the north and the southbound. So you will have 3 lanes continuing north and south all the way till about Black Canyon City. Right north of Black Canyon City, that's where we add 8 miles worth of flex lanes. So right when you start going up the hill to Sunset Point, on the southbound lane, the northbound lane will not change. The southbound lane, we will add 2 additional lanes. That will be what they refer to as flex lanes. So they will be open. The traveling public will have 4 lanes headed northbound on the weekend, so like Thursday through Sunday early morning, and then 4 lanes headed southbound from Flagstaff back down to the valley on Sunday through like Monday. And then at different peak times, those lanes open available for the traffic studies that they've done. So some of the available opportunities that we have right now, I don't want to list them all off. Concrete, flat work, and barrier stuff. We have there's multiple different bridge widening on the project, total deconstruct and rebuild of bridges, concrete pumping for those structures works, painting and aesthetics. We got fencing, signage, all that good stuff. Structures with the sound walls, street sweeping. I spoke to MGM already in this room. Again, all about networking. I'd love to hear from all of you guys, even if that's not your scope of work up on the screen. If you know somebody or you got a good reference for somebody, I'm willing to listen. And then again, material suppliers, a lot of our structures stuff that'll happen late spring, and then some miscellaneous stuff, the shoring, formwork, and so on and so forth. Our DBE goals right now, I'm happy to say that we have met or procured our design side of our DBE goal at 10.16% of our contract, but I am still looking to fulfill the other side of that, which is the construction side. So we have to fulfill about almost 11% worth of construction DBE dollars. So I'm about halfway fulfilled with that, so tons of opportunity. Really looking for DBE, small business opportunities and all of that stuff. I have contact information over there at our table, at the Kiewit Fan Joint Venture table. We also have a card that has all these available scopes on it with a QR code. We have a website that you can fill out a questionnaire that gets sent directly to myself and the 2 other individuals that are over at that booth. So we can go through all of the services and opportunities that you guys have to offer and go look through that stuff. So thanks to everyone who presented today, but I'm done with that, so I'll let them wrap it up. Thank you.
Kiewit Fan joint venture. Listen, I want to take the time to thank you guys for showing up. This is a great opportunity to meet the primes, to get to know the primes. Everybody spoke about networking, how important and critical it is. So we encourage you to take advantage. There's been billions of dollars of work here in the Arizona area displayed here. So make sure you follow through and get those 50 business cards. I'm going to call it the Henry Challenge. So let's get those 50 business cards, and we look forward to doing this again next year, and hopefully we can make it bigger and better. And we want to make sure you encourage other small business and DBE businesses to come out. I want to thank our Valley Metro team under the leadership of Jessica Miller. I want to thank all you guys for participating. We also have our procurement department, Susanna and Lori and Jennifer, and then we have Ed and Rick and Danielle in the back. Certainly reach out to our folks. We want to thank the city of Phoenix for always being a great partner. Donald Mays and Sarah with the aviation, and Christina with the public transportation, and then Eric Froberg with the city engineer. We want to thank ADOT, Dr. Janice Hodge and team, and Diane and the folks there. So we want to thank you guys. Then we want to thank all the primes for coming out. The primes are extremely busy. As you can see, they got a lot of work going on, but they took the time to reach out to the DBEs and the small businesses. So certainly take advantage of that opportunity. So let's go ahead and thank Ames Construction, Gannett Fleming, Balfour Beatty, WSP, Hemsel Phelps, AECOM, Southwest Transit Partners, a Sun Stacy Woodback joint venture, HDR, and also Kiewit and the Kiewit Fan joint venture. And then we also have Hill International here. So please show some love and give a round of applause to all the fans there. So we're here till 4, so you got about 24 minutes to network and pass out those 51 cards. So thank you guys once again. Happy holidays to you. Thanks.